Welcome back. You are listening to another episode of the What's Next podcast, and it's not very often you get something free out of an accountant, but you do from NextAdvisory. So Phil, we're going to take people through the different resources that people can use that we've built over the years to help them get a little bit of a springboard in their business.
Nice, mate. The one thing that accountants do give for free, just to start the pot off as we intend to continue, would be shit chat.
Oh, and we're pretty good at that too at times.
But people, it comes with a little bit of humour, I think, and personality, which is, accountants' advice, personality. We're really owning that. But look, we go a step further and, like you say, actually giving genuine resources for free out of our own time to help business owners get a step ahead. And I always remember the first one that we did.
I was about to say.
Yes, that brings back memories.
We've been doing it since day one. I believe we were kind of having a couple of Cirocs, actually, if we look over my back
Yep,
shoulder
dusted a
there.
few bottles of them.
Yeah, in Fiji, and we were talking about how accountants charge for the company's office annual return. It's about a $300 and something fee these days. And hey, no shade on the other accountants if that's how they want to do it, and it's very important. You want to have a paper file of all the different notes and resolutions and stuff.
I'm just sitting here waiting. But it could be considered overkill and probably an old way to do it. But if you think about it, if you're an accounting firm and you've got 1,000 clients, which is what, a lot of them build up big beasts, and you can charge them all $330 to do the company's office annual return, which a business owner would think, I don't know how to do that. That's a lot of
coin. I'll pay the money. It is a fair bit of coin. So then you hire Sally to manage those 1,000 clients' company's office annual returns.
Yep.
And you then on charge the disbursement from the company's office too. So now you're at about $395, because I think the company's office every year charge around $50 or $45 or whatever it is, right?
What it is, because we don't do it.
Yeah. So you have to pay, just for context here, you have to pay to keep your company alive each year.
It's like a car registration.
Yeah, yeah. And you update any of the details. Now for 90% of business owners, the details don't change. The addresses don't change, the shareholdings don't change, the directorships don't change. However, every company, no matter how big or small, has to maintain their records of the history of their company and resolutions and all sorts of stuff. And it's been a great way for people to be able to charge. Now, we sat there and went, well, why don't we just teach people how to do it themselves, given it's now very easy. It used to be very paper-based, and it was hard. Now it's basically all online via a log into the company's office.
And that's probably the most punishing part about it, is getting the real me login.
Yeah.
And then when it comes time once a year to log into the company's office, what's my real me login again? And every time, I must admit, for me, when I come to do it, I can't log in. I battle with it. And I mean, I've conquered the process now, and all you need is your credit card. Job done. And it's within a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, tick, 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 credit card, done. And then you've got accountants out there, and I can hear them now, but
What if
from
they
their
miss
point
this?
of view, it's just like, what if you miss something? What if you get it wrong? But we maintain the company minute book. We do this and we do that. Interestingly, as a chat that ties in with this, had a new client come on board recently, and they were like, our accountant is the registered office, and then we get charged, wait for it, $800 and something per company to maintain all of the registers. And then in addition to that, there's the annual filing fee of $200 or $300. So they're paying close to $1,000, if not over $1,000 for admin. And I was just like, you know what you should do to this accountant? I'm just like, just ask them, say, hey, look, really curious, can I have the director's interest book, the minute book, all of the stuff that you say you're maintaining, just to see what you guys are doing and what we're actually paying for? I bet you'll get crickets.
Ooh.
It is a little bit dark, but so much of it now is electronic. And when we have picked up work from other accountants, as you do, I mean, clients move around. I mean, it's relationship-based at the end of the day. The amount of physical minute books that we get delivered, and so many now, we email it out, they sign online, and then it's just saved onto an online drive, and that's it. There's no minute book. That's a concept of years gone by, and I get it for massive listed companies that they've got to have a company secretary and there's all this stuff to do. But for a quick, simple hack, if you're wondering what value or what's actually being done and you're going, do I need to, should I be paying for this, or is there something that the accountant doesn't need to be doing? That's one of them.
You could even ask ChatGPT in this day and age, I need to do my company's office annual return, please help me do it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we didn't even come here to talk about our company's
No, we
office
didn't.
annual returns, but that is one of the things that we started with. But if I go through a little bit of a list of some of the resources that we do have for people and that people download, we've got a business planning template. Now, this is the template that we work through with business owners who pay us to do 90-day planning or 12-month planning with them. And basically, it's designed to get you thinking around where it is that you want your business to go. Now, why do we give away the template? Well, there's templates all over the internet with different forms of business planning, lean canvases, all sorts of shit. So it's not like we've made this thing and we've, it's like it's free and we're the only ones doing it.
There's no proprietary information that's being given away. We've got nothing to protect because, as you say, you can Google business planning template or just business planning and down Google, and it'll be like, enter your email address and download this. The banks give them away. Xero, I think, have got one.
True, yeah. And everyone's trying to make it more and more simple, which is good. We're trying to get people thinking about planning and goal setting because 94% of business owners recently said to Xero that they're not achieving their goals. Now, often we call bullshit on that because we know that people won't even have goals. So therefore, when they answer a question like that, they'll just go, no, I'm not achieving my goals. Because how can 19 out of 20 business owners not be achieving their goals or getting closer? Certainly not what we see when we're speaking to clients. But basically, you can use that to get yourself started. The reason that people then do business planning with us is that they're looking for an objective view. They want to be challenged. They want the accountability, and they want to know that they're on the right path. Now, often, and they want to speed the journey up. So they want to know, okay, if I go down this path, which is on my business plan, but then they haven't asked anyone, is that a good idea? Then they might waste a year. Whereas someone where we sit with them and go, oh, actually, if you go down that path, that's what it's going to look like. We suggest this. And here's go and speak to this person, this person, this person, you're going to speed up the journey for them. So it's not like we give it away and therefore there's no work for us to do.
And I think the other big unlock for the business planning is like any of them, they've all got different sections of like, who you're doing work for and a SWOT analysis and why you're in business and a vision and all of these kind of things. It's like, great, you can look at that and you can fill it in. I guess the proprietary part about working with us is the questions that we ask the clients in advance in terms of how we frame the question or shape the question to get insight into how the business owner's thinking to then drive a conversation to go, oh, this is where a challenge is or this is where an opportunity is. And these are the areas that we can really drill into to go, right, here is your business plan. Let's not get distracted by these silver bullets over here and just focus on this stuff. Boom, you're away.
Love it. And then what we did is we actually recorded some videos to help people work through the business planning template. So vision, what does that mean? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, roadblocks, 1-year goals, 5-year goals, all that sort of stuff. We recorded some videos to guide people through putting that plan together. Now, we have a course, effectively, which people can work through. It's the business planning template with us helping coach people through it. That's free at the moment as well. We built that, I think, during COVID or maybe just prior. But it walks people through, and thousands of people have downloaded that. The key with all of this stuff, you can go and get free information from people. You got to be able to take action with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the critical part. I mean, it's one thing, the amount, and you've got the, and I suppose free to the extent that to get access to it, you do have to give us your email address.
True.
And you are going to be added to our email database. And you're going to get spammed and followed around the internet because we're good at it. Yeah, you can unsubscribe. We don't take it personally, but we'll still follow you around. But it's fascinating the amount of people, like you've shared with me, how many people, one, are on that list, and then two, the amount of people that are constantly downloading the business planning. And I think so many business owners are looking for, oh, what's that little hack, or what's that little silver bullet, or what's the missing piece of information that this might have that nothing else has got. And the secret out of all of it is you're missing nothing except for taking action.
Love it. Yeah. The content and the templates and the things we give away for free are designed to give people a way to get a little bit further ahead. And then once they're ready, they may engage us to help them or their accountant or somebody else. But they're in the mode of thinking about that rather than just not doing anything. The dangerous thing with free resources for people is that people who constantly look for something for free, we often see they don't end up achieving much because we know that if that's all we're doing, then there'll always be something free from somebody else. And there's comments like, if it's free, you're the product, etc.
Yep.
But you've got to get out of that mindset eventually and go, okay, I came here for what I needed to get me going, and now I need some advice or some support. And that's normally this very small percentage of people who access our resources who then get in touch and go, you know what, lads, like supercharge this for me. And that's what we do.
And normally when somebody's looking for something for free, it's another good insight that if that's how you live your life, chances are that's how you're going to be running your business.
Yeah.
So if you're making those kinds of decisions of just looking for the shortcut or just looking for something that's free to give you the hack and not prepared to invest in yourself or invest in your business, because it is an asset, like we keep saying, then maybe you need to be looking at yourself in the mirror and go, shit, maybe I shouldn't be such a cheapskate.
I put something on LinkedIn recently that got a bit of traction, and it was just, I just thought about it because I saw it somewhere and I thought, I'll put this out there and see what the reaction is like. And it's basically quotation marks like, hey mate, quick question, which translated in New Zealand basically means like, can you give me a lot of free advice? And then there's also going to be 7 follow-up questions. Yeah. And so many people like laughed or left a comment so topical. And I think that every now and then, we don't see it as much anymore, but when we were giving out free content or templates, you would get these people who would then have, they want very specific advice around their situation. And it's not just like a quick response. It's, okay, you need to unpack this from the start. But then they're very unwilling to pay for a consult, and that's fine. Like that doesn't offend us. That's how you've got to live your life, But you don't walk into your doctor, your chiropractor, your physio, etc., and demand a meeting and ask them to solve all of your problems, and then walk out of there having not paid anything. But I think people expect that of financial services and things like that. And so that's also for business owners out there giving free content. That is the danger of the type of people that you attract. And if you can't put barriers in place or processes, you will find yourself doing a lot of work for free, and you'll think you're doing the right thing. And eventually the value may come back around, but unless you're very clear on like when enough is enough, you can get led down the garden path by people. So be very mindful when you copy businesses who are giving out free information and resources.
Yeah. What's next on the list, mate?
All right, so we got the course here as well. One of your favorites, mate, the Cashflow template. You've spent hours designing a weekly one. We've got a monthly one for very basic to get people started, but 2 forms of Cashflow forecasting to get people thinking about what cash they've got coming in and what cash they've got going out, and therefore if they're going to run out of money or how much money they're going to stack up. Spot
on. And just like the business plan, you can search Cashflow forecast template, and the banks have all got one. Xero might have one. The lads at NextAdvisory have definitely got one. There's stack loads out them, and the format is basically the same. What's the money coming in, the money going out, what's your cash balance, and then what's the projected time frame that we're looking into the future. And there is no right or wrong answer. It can be weekly, it could be fortnightly, it could be monthly. But the biggest thing, again, like the business plan that we see with cash flow forecasting, is we get the download because we think that we're getting a quick win, or we're going to get an insight or an answer to something. But the answer is take some action and do something. And the clients that break the back of it in the months following are like, oh yeah, no, this is actually quite easy now. I've got into a good routine, I've got a system, and I've got visibility over the next 3 months, 6 months, whatever their time horizon is, and they've got clarity. With that clarity, they can make decisions.
Yeah. Like we work with hundreds of business owners every year, and just about in every single case, when you say to a business owner, are you doing any cash flow planning? The answer is no. I don't know why we don't do it. Like, I don't know. It seems so fundamental to running a business. It's, as we always say, it's like, not knowing how much battery you got left in your Tesla or how much fuel you got left in your car. But in business, we just kind of fly blind and hope that we've got, I think people go, okay, I can see that money in my account in Xero. I've got that money coming in. I've got that money going out. There's some red overdue stuff. But like, that's not cash flow planning. Cash flow planning is then modeling out your loan repayments. And then we have clients or business owners we've seen where they then put their loan payments into the bills section to try and then figure out what they may have going out so they can use those 3 numbers. We're like, oh, don't do that. And they might even put tax in there as well as a bill to pay. And I don't know, like it just seems a very easy win for a lot of business owners to actually build a model that they understand and continue to use it.
I wonder if part of it comes back to, one, it's numbers, and people, I think, are just naturally scared of numbers because as a country, we're pretty poor at maths, I think, when we compare ourselves to our OECD partners. And then you keep the change thing, trying to improve financial literacy. The amount of people on the home front that do no forecasting or budgeting around what their own financial future looks like. So if you're not doing it for the business, chances are you're not doing it for your home. If you've never done it for your home, then trying to do it for your business, you're just like, whoa. And it can be hard and it can be daunting, but I think the main thing that we've said to business owners time and time again is just do something. You're going to make mistakes. Cash flow forecasting is an art, not a science. So 1 + 1 isn't going to always equal 2 because we're guessing. But the more you do it, the more you'll go, oh, I've missed that. Oh, I've overdone this or I've underdone that. And you're starting to get data, and with data we can make decisions and refine and over time improve accuracy.
Now, as these years of NextAdvisory have evolved, we've looked for different ways to deliver this content. And so now we've stacked a business planning tutorial. So it's about 2 hours from a prior workshop that we've run, and then a cash flow workshop as well. And we've put those inside a Skool group. Now, a Skool group is effectively like an online classroom that can hold video resources, downloads. You can talk to other people, you can message people, and that has allowed about 450 business owners to jump in there and access those trainings. We then have put in there some of our other resources that people can hopefully work through, and we can actually see if people are working through them. Now, of course, it's like anything, a free something, I'll sign up. I can click on the members and see, they haven't actually done too much inside here. So we can try and do all this shit. Until people actually take action, it doesn't really matter. But that Skool group is there if you want to find that. We'll chuck all the links to these into the show notes, and you should be able to find them below should you want to access them. But in there as well, we ask questions around what are you struggling with in business. So just put a terminal tax reminder in there, provisional tax reminders and things like that to get people thinking more about business, because it's very easy in this world to surround yourself with everyday content for everyday people that the media are trying to put in front of people. But if you're a business owner, you need to put business content in front of yourself, because that's the world that you live in.
Spot on.
You don't live in the overall, yes, you're part of the overall world, but your focus needs to be on, what it is that you need to be doing in your business and what you need to understand so that you have less surprises as you go through your journey.
Geez, what else are we doing, mate? The list there, I think we've barely broken the back of it almost.
Well, it just reminds me, I need to put the due diligence checklist into the Skool group, but you could probably talk us through the due diligence checklist.
I was just thinking on the webinars that we've done, there's also a video tutorial on how to prepare the cash flow forecast.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if that's in the Skool group, but
group.
that's definitely on YouTube.
Yeah.
So all the resources are there, and like we said, it's free. You just got to take action. But due diligence, if you're looking at buying a business, we've created a very simplistic, but just to get your mind thinking, initial questions to put together that you can present to the broker or the vendor of a business that you're looking to buy, to go, hey, look, I want to do some due diligence. I need to ask these questions. Can you give me this information? So just as a little quick starter, clients that engage us to work with them through the due diligence process, we will take that, and with the information that we get from the client, we will create a customized due diligence checklist. And from that, it'll be the information memorandum, the financial statements, any other information that the purchasing client has given us, and we will then take that one-page summary, which I think it is, and turn it probably into 3 or 4 pages and completely overwhelm it sometimes, the vendor and the broker, of all the information that we need to do a really thorough due diligence. But to help out business owners, there is a checklist there that you can download to help yourself get started.
There we go. And that brings us to the home office template as well. And this is one of the OG ones. And basically, every year a business owner should be able to claim a portion of the expenses that they've had on the home front, whether it's rent, mortgage interest, insurance, rates, repairs in some instances, phone, internet, the list goes on. We've put a template together where people can fill out all those boxes. You take the area that you use for your business divided by the total area of your property, and it then gives you a percentage and calculates what your home office portion is that you can claim. Now, it might be $2,000. That could potentially save you $660 in tax.
Yeah.
So people would say, I can't be bothered doing that. But a lot of people wouldn't have an hourly rate higher than that. And so it's very smart to do that and spend a bit of time doing it in order to save that tax, because there aren't too many loopholes, as people like to tell you in the general media that there are in business. There aren't many of those, but the ability to claim a portion of your home office expenses is, I think, one of the best bits about running a business. And compared to an employee would probably be the best way to put that, because they can't do that. But they probably are working from home a lot these days as well.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's spot on. It's a great, simple to use spreadsheet template. Again, available for download. My mind immediately went to, I'd love to know how many people have downloaded that, filled it out, and then sent it to their accountant, and we're not the accountant, and that's sitting on a number of different files across the country with our branding all over it at some other accounting firm.
I do wonder, do people delete the NextAdvisory logo off the top? Of course, we have a YouTube bank of hundreds of videos. We've got past podcasts on there. There's different pieces of content where we may have interviewed a business owner to get people thinking if they're going to watch that. Different tutorials, bottom-up analyses where we've basically, Phil's guided people. If you want to target a profit of X, Y, Z, well then how many of your units do you need to sell? Therefore, that's X amount of sales. So there's a lot in there. Obviously, we have the podcast bank as well. There's about 500 and something episodes that people can go and listen to, right through probably the last 5 years of our journey as well. So people probably notice the change in the way that we talk and some of the different pieces of work that we now do that we didn't used to do or we don't do anymore. So that could be fascinating for people to go back through. And that's, I think, the list exhausted, mate. Have I missed anything?
No, I'm just trying to rack my brain of what else could be on the website that, the other one that we can't overlook are our social media channels.
Yes.
The amount of content that gets plopped up on social media frequently, I'd say how many times a week would content be going on?
You would have at least 2 or 3. Yeah,
2 or 3 posts, and more often than not, it's useful bits of information to help business owners, be it a reminder for GST, reminder for income tax, just little tidbits of what's happening out in the economy. Adrian or throwing in the towel. Just little bits of, again, as business owners, you've got to surround yourself with business information. And our social media channel is a chance for us to put key things that we find interesting out into the public arena with a business lens on it to then educate people to go, hey, look, this is stuff as business owners you need to be aware of.
Yeah, so you can find the NextAdvisory Facebook page. There's an Instagram page. We often do stories. We reply to every message that we get. We try to, at least. So sorry if we may have missed you. And those are probably the 2 main ones. Obviously, YouTube as well. So there is a big back catalogue of information there, and we're often doing stories and all sorts of things.
And then your LinkedIn profile. You're a prolific poster on LinkedIn and produce some fantastic content. Yeah, great storyteller. So if people are listening to this or watching, and you don't follow the great Luke Kemmies, fellow chartered accountant.
Oh, you're missing out. As one of the leading people in the LinkedIn space in the country. What are you doing? But yes, I do.
Give you a follow, and there's some absolute gems of content that are produced.
Yeah, I often try and take whatever I'm seeing happen out there with clients or what people are asking me and go, okay, if someone's asking this, then how can I tell it in a way that breaks it down and simplifies it so that more people can understand it? So yeah, LinkedIn as well if you want to connect with us. We do have our a back catalogue of our paid workshops that we've done. Yep. They're sitting in the Skool group. Now, you have to pay to unlock those because whilst they are fresh and relevant, we feel that it's unfair for the people who did pay to come to those for you to then get access to it for free.
Yeah.
So we may unlock them in the future, but those people who paid will pay attention, and they probably won't even mind if we did make them free in time. But we want to give those people who did take them seriously enough to pay to come to, to get going and use the information to get a head start on the people who are constantly looking for something for free.
The other one, and I can't believe I've overlooked it, would be Keep the Change.
Sure.
Yeah, with the branding right behind you. But how many podcasts have you done there so far?
There's probably over 600 there.
Yeah, and then your money mail once a week.
Yeah.
The amount of clients that follow us and then got, when I meet them and say, Luke's content that he's putting on Keep the Change. It is a fantastic resource.
Yeah.
And we've got to remember that it's there.
Yeah, 100%. So, that might help you in terms of your personal finances. And like Phil said earlier, when you're running a business and a household, you need to be doing this stuff together. But a lot of it crosses over. And if you can make sense of it in business or personal, you can start to take those principles. And a lot of the Keep the Change content's actually business-based principles. And if it's good enough for S&P 500 companies, NZX companies, for business owners, for people doing well, then why isn't it, that we're individually doing it? So keeping a net worth tracker or even forecasting out what money you've got coming into the household, what's going out, and starting to build good financial habits and even thinking about your money weekly and monthly, where we live in a country where it's kind of taboo to do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So there is an abundance of information out there, and we get so many messages. I guess this is a really rewarding part, because if we go back to why do we do this, one of our values very early on was philanthropic, and that was basically probably too fancy a term in terms of giving back.
It was. Do you know how to spell it?
Shit, no.
No, I was just thinking you bringing that up, and I was like, gee, I'm scratching my head. I can't remember that. Yeah.
So part of that was, okay, when we build this business, we want to give back some of the things that we are learning and contribute to the economy and society in different ways. And we think education is a great way to do that, so that people who can't work directly with us can still benefit from the work that we're doing and that we're doing with clients. So basically, our business as a model is a great vehicle to be able to lift up other people who aren't even our clients. And we get messages every single week with people saying thank you or how much they've learnt.
Yeah.
And that's a form of a currency for us. It doesn't pay our wages or our grocery bills. However, it encouraged us to go, you know what, like maybe we should invest into a podcast studio. We do need to stay consistent with the podcast. We do need to keep doing these things because people are getting a lot out of them. So thank you to all those people that take time to acknowledge the work that goes into helping people who aren't just NextAdvisory clients.
Yeah, 100%. I always find it a little bit humbling and quite satisfying actually reading the Google reviews. So to everyone that's taken the time to leave a Google review and leave a comment, some of them are just mind-blowing in terms of what people are getting out of what we're producing. The comments that are left on either our social channels, YouTube, wherever it is, the engagement and the feedback is genuinely appreciated.
And as well as the emails every now and then to lnp@nextadvisory.nz with a big breakdown of what people have done. Good to see.
Yep.
Right, well, if you want to access any of those resources, like we said before, we'll put them in the show notes below. It is a pleasure to try and help educate business owners all over the country. And if you need a hand with anything, you know how to find us. Reach out, lnp@nextadvisory.nz.